weird. The game audio is oddly quiet. Is it raining outside? No? Okay, that was very bizarre. That's why I didn't start talking for a minute. I was like, where's the game audio? Apparently it was doing a weird. Welcome back, everybody, to Stardew Valley here on Fantasy Farm. This week is our second week of fall. Winter's just around the corner. Yep, it is just around the corner. It's not actually just around the corner. We've still got quite a few weeks. We've got 3, including this one, before winter hits. Now, looking at the rate we've been going, I do believe, provided that I don't just spend a stupid high amount of income for no reason, I do believe that we will have our 10 million gold before the end of year 3. So that's ultimately what I'm shooting for, but, you know, nothing is certain, and winter might mess that up too, because, you know, a fair bit of our crops are not going to be growing because they don't grow on the farm in winter. So we'll kind of see how that all shakes out, I suppose. Either way, in this episode, we did check last time to see if there were any new key quests. There was nothing new, but I still do want to do those in the hopes that the key gems will be used for something. I've already bought all the recipes as we've already cleared all those out, but I do still want to see what potential options are there, and if nothing else, it'll be, you know, a little bit different from the regular of just doing the same thing over and over, so having a little variety would be good in that regard. And the same thing will go for the special orders. Even though we've cleared them all, if I find one in particular that I'm like, oh, that's easy enough to do, then we will go ahead and take on that challenge. Alright, we've got some legend row here, which is good. I think for the time being, how we're gonna do the row in terms of using them, I think it is probably best that I'm gonna just sell the lava eel row as it is, but for the bigger stuff like the legend row, these I'm just gonna go ahead and put in pretty much every time they're available, and then any remaining spots will be, of course, filled by the cranberries, as they will easily be able to continue providing, since we're going to be picking them up faster than we can put them in the containers, I would wager. Let's try to get these all... There we go. Set up in the way they need to be. For fall, we do have the Stardew Valley Fair, and I'm kind of torn on if I want to go or not. Oh, thought I was going to have a sneeze, but nope, it has disappeared, because sometimes a sneeze just won't sneeze. So I'm a bit torn on whether or not to go to the fair. I probably just straight up won't go to the Spirits Eve festival. I don't really see a need to go. But at least for the fair, there are some rewards, like the prize ticket. That said, it does eat up the entirety of the day, so I'm kind of mixed on if I want to do that or not. So it might be a case of we just kind of see how we're feeling once we get there, and if it seems like a good idea, then we'll do it, and if it doesn't seem like it'll be all that helpful, we'll just ultimately pass on it. We've collected all our truffles. Let's see what we got going on over here. As mentioned last time, as the quest for Gus is done, unless he decides to give it to us again, we can go back to taking our eggs and putting them in the mayo machine. I'm going to say from now on as well, the dinosaur eggs, if they are not iridium quality, I'm just going to go ahead and sell them. So just assume that if there are any there and suddenly they're not there, that's probably what happened to them. Alright, there's the milk. And away we go. I've been making a lot of that in another game I've been playing recently that I've been thinking about doing a Let's Play for. I still need to finish my first playthrough of it. It's... I don't know how to describe it, admittedly. I don't want to spoil what it is, but oddly enough, the two games that it feels like it combines are Animal Crossing, the series, and Legend of Zelda Wind Waker? I know that sounds really weird, but that is honestly what it feels most like. That said, I do want to focus on Mario Baseball once this is done, and actually finish that up before anything else. But I've been going through my game library recently, and been playing games that I either had not completed or just had not played, because, you know, we've all bought games that we never actually ended up playing. But that aside, I've gotten some really, really good games in my library that I've had the opportunity to play. Sorry, busy scratching my elbow there. And through doing that, hi Callie. And through doing that, like, it has given me ideas for other games to play. There's two in particular I pretty much, like, I'm all but guaranteed to play, since they are, I'd say they're in my top 5 after playing one of them once and one of them twice. They're that good. I'm not a professional at them by any means, hence only playing it twice each. But yes, I have gotten newer, well, not newer games, but newer ideas for what I want to do, and I'm not going to say, like, fully depart from the whole Nintendo thing of, like, constantly playing Nintendo games, but I do want to, like, switch it up and have more variety. I feel like I have been bound by the Nintendo box a fair bit, and doing games like this has been a lot of fun of switching it up from what I'm usually doing. There's nothing wrong with that in particular for doing only Nintendo games, but still. Alright, 4 Precious Stones. This is the one that I'm going to do, and the big reason why... let me check this real quick. Just seeing, like, what I would go after. I guess the horse flute. Yeah, that is one more thing I could pick up. So, the prismatic the 4 prismatic shards, for that one, I think probably what I'm going to do, and it'll be part of the post commentary, is I'm going to take all of my Omni Geodes and break them all open until either we get 4 or we run out of Omni Geodes, whichever happens first. So, just be aware that I'll be doing that, but at the same time... There's some Starfruit. But at the same time, if we don't have enough... if we don't have enough Omni Geodes to be able to get them, then we'll go back to the cavern. But for now, I'm not going to worry about it too much. It is also a neutral day, so we'd probably be better off waiting if we did have to. I think I will go ahead and take care of that now, honestly. I don't have any here by accident, do I? No, I don't. I'm not going to bring the other geodes with me, just these. And hopefully with about 700, theoretically that should be plenty, but we'll see how it goes. I think for now, we'll go ahead and switch to post-commentary. Well, no, before we do that, let's go check the special orders, I guess. So I'll take the long way. One other thing I do want to point out is note that there is a decent chance that with the Blackberry season endgame appearing, I probably am going to work at least a tiny bit on restocking the Blackberries. I don't really think we're going to need that many more of them because we're getting pretty near the end, but I do want to pick them up when I see them. I know this isn't special order. 3 catfish. Well, it's got to be raining in order for that to happen, so I don't, There's a potential for that not happening at all through no fault of my own. Yeah, I'd rather do biome balance. I could see myself fishing more than mining because better profits. But for now, I think we will go ahead and cut to post-commentary, so I will see you guys at the end of the video. Well, it took 338 Omni Geodes, but we got it. Contrary to popular belief, your daily luck has nothing to do with cracking open geodes and what you get inside of them. They're preset the moment that you pick up the geode in the first place, so there's no point in waiting for a good luck day. Oddly enough, the second, third, and fourth ones were all pretty close together. It was also a good boost to coal and a decent one to iron ore, which is appreciated. Other than that and the stone, I'm selling everything else back that isn't a prismatic shard. Not counting what we're required to put in the shipping bin, i.e. stuff that we can't sell back to Clint, we made at 21,640 gold. So, breaking them open still did turn a decent profit. On the off chance this challenge comes up again, I'm going to keep the remaining Omni Geodes to try this method a second time. With no reason not to, we go ahead and drop off those prismatic shards right now. With 74 key gems, we pick up the horse flute. Now, I've never actually done this before, so now I guess I know you can get multiple flutes, and it really does work anywhere outside, including the island. Guess that means you could ride the horse into the volcano if you wanted. Aside from that quest and the replanting of starfruit, it's off to do the special order quest as well. By now it's pretty obvious my end-of-day activity is catching and smoking fish for profit, and given that biome balance is in effect, we may as well go to the ocean. That said, if you're playing along, the best money-making fishing area on average will be the river and cindersap forest in the fall, whether it's raining or not. Luckily, we finish up that quest as well. No particularly amazing items from treasure chests, but we're only here for the money anyway. The oak resin are once again ready, which means that we'll need to make more kegs. A more diligent player would have been smelting iron and copper bars before now, but instead I'm just going to make the kegs as I can and then do a few small things while I'm waiting for the ores to get turned into bars. As of right now, that means that I'm going to go around the forest and pick up some blackberries. Again, I probably won't need them, but better to have them and need them instead of needing them and not having them. With a good chunk of the kegs made, I go ahead and drop them off, as well as get them going with pineapples. Until I realize I'm out of pineapples. The keg empire has outgrown the rate of picking up normal quality pineapples. Whoops. Well, coffee it is for now until I figure out a good substitute. Cashing in our tickets and smelting more ore, I swing by the desert to cut down the full trees while I wait. It's not just the bars that we need for those kegs, after all. Down to 2 oak resin and waiting on the bars, the starfruit wine finish up, so that'll get swapped out for a new set of starfruit. The ones in the basement are nearly ready as well, and will be later in the video, but we're more than ready for that. Luckily, by midnight, the last 2 kegs are made and placed. Again, I'll fill them with coffee beans for now, but since they'll be ready tomorrow, I've got to figure out a game plan for them pretty soon. With Sandy flirting with me as I go to buy seeds on day 3, I'm again reminded, why exactly can we not romance her again? Like, Sebastian's great, but also, Sandy? For now, I decide on making the empty quarry kegs into ones that will also make starfruit wine. I switch that up later on. We're already out fishing at the river by 2:30. Given that the routine is done, there's no quest to do otherwise, and that we're working towards that 10 million, this is where things will be heading quite a bit. That said, I will have a small switch up in my strategy for fishing pretty soon. FYI, catfish if it's raining, tiger trout, and salmon are going to be what you want to catch here, followed by the shad, then the bream and chub at the bottom in terms of profit. Luckily, salmon are pretty common and also very easy to catch. There is some fairy dust and golden mystery boxes that we'll keep, and some iridium bars and pearls that we'll sell, but otherwise, no super big items here. The jellies are ready on day 4, and this is also a good point to show that 123 cranberry jellies are not anywhere near as profitable as a mere 14 at Legend 2 row. Yeah, they're that good. So, every time the preserves jars reset, those row are going in first and foremost. Also, I now have a plan for those quarry kegs, and that is to use the ancient fruit that we built up. Normal and silver quality ancient fruit will now be stored over there and used. They're not, like, starfruit good, but hey, that's what the farm kegs are for, and it's good use for the ancient fruit. I also decide to sell a good bit of iridium bars and smelt some gold ones. At this point, I'll just keep like a set amount, and later on I'm going to start smelting huge amounts of iridium for bars, and then sell the bars for profit. We also run a quest for robin, since, again, it's an okay reward. Now, back to the river fishing. I do find some challenge bait in a chest, and admittedly it wasn't until then that I got a bit of an idea, but we'll see that another day. The cellar wines are now ready. Yes, it does take forever, hence me saying, just keep your backup set ready and then sell everything between now and then. But oh boy, is it going to be a good amount of money. Also, more cranberries are ready. With very little else going on by the time about 140 hits, I decide to make up a ton of challenge bait using bone fragments and moss. It'll be a good use for items that I really just don't have much use for otherwise, and given that it'll help up the quantity of fish, we should be seeing a good money increase as well. It does run the risk of me intentionally choosing to miss out on treasure chests, but they don't always have big rewards from them. Technically, yes, the smokers won't be able to keep up since I only have 2, but honestly, that's okay. What it does mean is that there will be more higher value fish smoked, and the lower value ones will likely not ever see the smoker, because, you know, there's more of them. Given their increase will be a lower amount if you put them in the smoker, that's totally fine. I decided to sell a bunch of my gemstones, and this is where I begin smelting more of those iridium bars to sell, too. Demetrius wanted an emerald, so sure, have your emerald, Mr. Textbook definition of actually. Otherwise, it was a very short and pretty boring day here. We go fishing, and since it's raining, that does mean catfish can appear. But despite this, I actually only caught one, namely because only one appeared. The challenge bait continues to prove effective, so we catch a good bit of pike. Aside from catfish and tiger trout, this is the highest value fish you're usually going to see in this area this season, so it's a good plus. On our final day, Rio has grown up. As I'll mention later in the commentary here, this is currently the 1.6, meaning as of right now, this is as quote-unquote grown up as your kids can get. They're now able to walk around the house, and this also means that they'll sleep in beds instead of the crib. That also means that this is now your chance to get a second kid. Sadly, you can't gift your kids anything they might like. Pretty much all you can do is just build up a friendship to them by talking to them and not getting any dialogue, and I guess putting hats on them. No, that's not a joke, that's actually something you can do. I changed the jukebox song again to Professor Snail's Radio. Nothing wrong with Night Market, I just wanted to switch it up. Again, jellies and roe are ready, so I'm swapping those out once again. Deciding to go for a good profit today, I took all of the silver quality fruit that we have to sell as well. The normal quality ones can continue to be put in the dehydrator until we finish the project or we run out, and it's not like they're going to stop making fruit on the trees. With more pineapple wine done, as planned, I'll now be using the ancient fruit wine in there. I'm still going to collect the pineapple just in case, but I think we'll largely be good either way. Still, by all the time that all those kegs are done for that quarry area, there's going to be a lot of them. For fishing, I decided to make a cork bobber this time, mostly just to make it a little bit easier with the challenge bait, and also it's pretty easy to make. Nothing particularly mind-blowing from fishing today, but I do make sure to get home early enough to snatch up all the milk and mayo from our animals. And now, back to live commentary. Now that was what I would call, personally, a very good week's income, at least between the beginning of the last week and the beginning of this week. We just skipped over the 6 million mark completely. We have gone from 5 million to almost 7.5 million gold. Very, very good pace, and with that I can pretty confidently say, yeah, I think we will be hitting 10 million gold before winter gets here. If we have another week like that, we're going to be basically just shy of it. That would put us at about, I think, 92 or 9.2 million would be roughly the same amount. But yes, very, very happy with those results. Yeah, it was, besides money making, very calm week. Not a lot going on, and I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that the special order and the key quest were both done in the same day, that being the day they were activated, thanks to the magical powers of having way, way, way too many Omni Geodes. But the strategy did work. You can't deny that. So on a single-player run, that would definitely be an optimal decision. On a multiplayer run, you'd probably have somebody doing Skull Cavern while another person was opening those Geodes, if nothing else was going on. What do we got next week? Ooh, we have the Grange. Exciting. Yes, I'm clapping my hands in excitement. Find 100 of each of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple items, place them in my collection box. That is what we will be doing in the next episode. So that will be one of our 3 remaining quests to do. And other than that, we'll have the one of shipping all the key fruits and beating the Junimo cart, which that one I'm less excited about. But the key seeds is you just have to kind of know specific ways of getting the key beans, which is what you plant for those. But other than that, I don't think it'd be too terribly bad, so I'm not worried about it that much. What does this say? Just a jade. Yep, there we go. I was going to say, what we'll have coming up next episode also is the Stardew Valley Fair, if I decide to do that or not. I don't know if I will. I don't know. Again, that's going to be kind of a play it by ear. I think time is probably better spent not going, but also the idea of having myself, Rio, and Sebastian go to the fair together, even though Rio can't go, is kind of a very wholesome thought. At least as of right now, and it looks like it will change in the 1.7 update. I'm trying to find Rio right now. He is actually at quote-unquote max age, as old as he can possibly look in-game. He is now no longer in his crib. He will be proper in, where is Rio? Maybe he's stuck behind the bookcases. He's probably not. He is at his sort of max age that can appear in the game. He's not crawling anymore. He's up and walking around. Look at him go, too. Yeah. He's got the zoomies. Man, he really is going. Where are you going, bud? Just gonna keep running? I guess he is. I figured he would have stopped at some point. Yeah. How fitting, right next to the Junimo mat here. So yeah, still working our way on building up a friendship with him, but also he is a literal child, so in some ways that can be extremely easy, and in some ways it can be extremely difficult. Sebastian just teleported, I guess. Alright, cool. Either way, that will do it for this episode. Thank you all for watching, and next time on Stardew Valley, we'll be doing the get 100 of each color and placing the keys bin. We'll probably go to the Stardew Valley Fair. There's, of course, the special orders, and we'll see if there's anything on there. And other than that, given we're already halfway to 8 million, I think we could get there pretty easily, even if we do go to the fair and sort of take a day off. But we'll see how things go from that point. Again, I don't think there's too terribly much else. I do want to get the Return Scepter at some point, so I might still play to pick that up, but in terms of our collections here, we're basically done other than this one achievement, which, I don't know, I'm still going back and forth on it. I think I will give it an honest try, but we'll see how it goes. I need to do a lot of research into figuring out how to make that as optimal as I can. Either way, this recording has been at a little over 3 hours and 10 minutes now, which is quite a hefty chunk that got condensed down into everything you've seen here. But other than that, yeah, I think we're at a good spot thus far. We're getting closer and closer to that golden clock, and with some more key gems, I don't know what I'll buy next, admittedly. I didn't realize that the horse flute was something you could buy multiple of, but it is cool that you can buy multiple. It's also cool that that's a way to get your horse to the island or to the desert as well. It wouldn't really have much use, but it's cool. Regardless, that will do it for an episode. I will see you all in the next one for the next week of fall. Take care.